Hi everybody, it is Nat and I am so excited for today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 series that I want to reread. Now some of these are standalone, some of them are series. I honestly feel like I don't reread that many books, like I feel like I hardly ever do. The only exception to that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. That's my favorite book of all time and I try to read it every year, every 2 years, like somewhere around then. So I didn't actually include The Host on this list just because I do reread it so often, but as a general rule, I normally don't reread books ever, so these are the books that I really want to reread sometime soon because I've just been wanting to reread some of my favorites recently. Yeah, that is enough for this intro. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So these aren't in any particular order, except the first one is the series that I definitely want to reread the most, and that is The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is one of my favorite series of all times and is really one of the series that got me into reading. When I was about 6ish or so, my dad read the entire Chronicles of Narnia to me, and it's been so long since I've read them, so I just really want to reread it and just kind of get back into that world and that story. And I grew up with Narnia, it was part of my childhood, so I just really want to get back into that world since it has been so long since I've read it. Next I have The Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld, and I'm pretty sure I read this in 6th grade or so it's been a while since I've read it also, but I do remember that I loved it, and so I've just been really wanting to reread it and get back into that world and relive it since I don't remember too much since it has been too long. But I do know that I loved it, so yeah, I really want to reread the Ugly series. The next series that I want to reread is the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer, and I read Life and Death right when it came out a year ago, and ever since then I've just been feeling so nostalgic for Twilight and I just want to read it so bad. I think it's great no matter what anybody says. It was definitely my first fangirl experience, so I have so many memories and so much love for Twilight. So yeah, I've just been really wanting to read it again ever since Life and Death came out. Next up I have the Divergent trilogy by Veronica Roth, and I was a bit of a Divergent hipster. I really read it before it was this huge popular book and before the movies and everything like that. So I really want to go back and reread it now that it has blown up so big and just kind of see if I still like it the same now that there's movies and everything out about it. But yeah, I really love Divergent, so I do want to go and relive this world. Okay, so I definitely thought that I had more standalones, but I guess this one is my only standalone on the list, and that is Orion by Jessica Khoury. I really love this book. I feel like it is so underrated, and pretty much just about this girl, Pia, who is immortal, and she's living on this island with a bunch of scientists who are studying her. And I didn't realize that at the time, but thinking back on it, I'm pretty sure she has Stockholm Syndrome, and the book is just about her figuring out that there's more to life outside of this island that she's on being studied, and she meets this boy and they kind of figure out why she's immortal. But yeah, it's just so good and I think everybody should read it. Number 6 is the House of Night series by PC and Kristen Cass, and I remember I read this series I haven't finished it, but most of it I read in middle school, and I remember I was in love with it. I was so obsessed with this series. When I started reading it, I think there was only 3 books out, and I was super into it, but then for whatever reason at book 7 or so, I think it was, I just didn't get the next book 8 after book 7. I just couldn't stop reading them, and now it's been years and I don't really remember everything that happens in a lot of detail, but I just remember I was so obsessed with it. And the final book is out now, so I can just go marathon and reread all of them and just finish up the series because I just remember I was obsessed with this, so I really want to go ahead and reread it. Next series I have is The Underland Chronicles by Suzanne Collins, and again, this was one of the series that I was obsessed with and in love with as a little kid. 4th grade teacher actually read the first book out loud to our class, and I just remember I was so enthralled with it, and I haven't picked up or read the series at all since I finished it, which seriously was 10 years ago. But yeah, I just really want to get back and relive this world because it is so incredible and so amazing and unique, and seriously one of my favorite series of all times. The next series is another one where I was really in love with the first few books in the series, but then for whatever reason didn't go ahead and continue reading it while the books were coming out. And that is the Fallen series by Kate Lauren. I love the series and I really want to continue with it, but I know that I'm going to have to reread the first few books in order to continue on because it has been so long since I read it, but I just remember I love this series, so I'm super excited to go ahead and reread it. Partials trilogy by Dan Wells. This is actually my favorite trilogy of all time, so I've only read it once and I really want to go back and just reread it and relive this world because it's my favorite trilogy and I've only read it once, which is weird because my favorite book, The Host, I've read seriously 12 times. So yeah, I really want to reread this one. It is an amazing trilogy. It's about robots and humans and science and an apocalypse and a plague, and just it is so amazing and such a work of genius. Right, and the final series I have for you guys is Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. I really like this series. I think I've only read the first 4 in it, but I read them back in middle school. So again, it's been a while since I read them, and I really want to read like all of the Percy Jackson, like all that like world books, so I need to reread the series that I've already read before I can continue on with it, but I do remember that I loved it, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one also. But alright, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what book or series you guys want to read, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!